basically this epoxy now has gone off. What I did to sort of help spin it along a little bit is I actually just turned the oven on to about 80 degrees just for 5 minutes and just stuck it in there just to get a little bit of warmth in it. It's a little bit below 15 degrees here at the moment, so it's not quite the right sort of conditions for it to go off nicely, so that sort of has helped it cure quite well. So it looks reasonably okay. I think it's pretty solidly in there. Now obviously the next thing I'll probably do is put some of this grease or diff oil or something on there. Now I actually tried these last night, just had a bit of a look, and the hard grease is super sticky. I think it will almost stop it working at all. So I think I'm not going to use that. I might try the medium, and if that is too slow, then we'll try the diff oil. Okay, so what I've done there is I actually mixed a bit of these two. I put some of the medium on first, just to see what would happen. I think it would probably be okay, but I'm just worried, you know, because you've got the weight of the toe numb on there as well, so maybe just a little bit extra will help. So I sort of, just in a couple of places, just put a bit of the hard stuff on there as well, and that sort of, you know, gives you sort of an in-between sort of value, so I don't know if that's going to be alright or not, but anyway, it's that's better than it was, because it's not going to bounce. It's going to, I hope, well, yeah, I hope it's going to lower a little bit more softly now. I think the thing to do now is just to see what happens. So there's a spring that goes on there, and there's a small clip that goes on there, which actually I was able to get off just with, you know, without any tools at all. Okay, that's actually on. It is probably very hard to see on camera there, and it's actually very hard to see in real life, so don't worry if you can't see that, but it's on because it's not coming out. So the next thing is, let's put that spring in. There we go. So that's a bit more like it. Like, it's still able to move, but it's nice and slow. You know, the spring is retracting it. So basically what happens is you have a, where is it, over this side, there's a solenoid that goes in here, and you know, that pushes it up, so that lifts the arm, and then it just retracts. And so that's what we want. We just want it to sort of slowly drop down, not slam down, because that's going to break the needle. So I think that's going to be okay. And hopefully that is now in line properly. But the thing is, if that's too far in, that's actually probably not such a problem, because this will screw out, but this won't screw in much more because there's a spring in there that's almost completely compressed. And in fact, that probably needs to be replaced, because it's actually almost so compressed that if you unscrew it, it doesn't sort of spring out anymore. So anyway, I think the thing to do now is I need to go and install this back into the unit and have a look at how that performs. Now that's a bit awkward to do on camera, so I'm not going to. We'll just have a look at the result. Okay, there it is installed. It's looking like it's going to work a lot better. It's you know, got a nice sort of soft action now. One thing I did also is I used a bit of this silicone diff oil, because it's, you know, it's thick, but I don't think it's quite as thick as either of those greases. I put that on the inner part of the solenoid, just so that when it retracts and whatever, it moves just a little bit more slowly, because it's actually that thing drawing away that actually kicks this, or allows this arm to drop in the first place. So if that slows down as well, then it's probably going to improve things a little bit more. So, and this is what I was talking about before. If you can see, there's a small groove in this pin here, and then if you can see there's a little bit of wire, and that sort of locates this arm, and what that does is that gives it this start position. So this will move to a certain point and then it'll drop down and start, and that's pretty much a fixed thing within the mechanism. So the only way to sort of adjust where the needle is actually starting is, you know, by winding this in and out a little bit. So anyway, I think we're okay now. So the next thing I might do is plug it in and put in a record. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, that's still a bit of a fast drop, but it's much better than it was. Okay, so the reason it came so far in to start this record is actually because there's a special arm there that actually detects the size of the record, and it pushes against this, and if it's got resistance, then it knows that, you know, there's a full size record on there. Now the thing that moves that lever is actually a piece on the actual case, which isn't fitted at the moment, so it starting there is not a surprise. Okay, here we go again. Turn it on, we should see the self-homing work. Right, it goes where it should. Now, as before, I'm expecting it's going to go most of the way in before it starts, so let's press play and see what it does. Have we solved it? Wow. Fantastic. So as you can see, it dropped down, and then it also, the sled sort of advanced the few millimeters that I said. And if you watch this, that's exactly what it's going to do. It's just going to keep every now and then just moving just a little bit. In fact, it may be significantly less than 5 millimeters, but anyway, you know, you get the idea. It's just a small amount. It's not constant. At first I thought it might have been a constant thing, but no. So what I ended up doing there, I'll just stop that now, is I repacked with the hard grease around that thing, but also I took the solenoid out and I cleared the light silicone oil off, and I packed it with the hard grease as well, and I think that's made the difference there. So I think this is going to get the case on, and then I'll be able to do all the final adjustments and things like that, adjust the place position, and then I'll actually be able to see whether it plays all the way to the end and is working correctly. Because aside from that, it actually sounds good, and that's you might have remember from a previous video that I got a new needle, so that's a brand new needle there, and that is why I was very keen to get this problem fixed, because I didn't want to have to go and chase up another one. Here we are with it all back together. I haven't screwed this on, but I put it in place, and this is the tab. It moves this lever here, and that's how it knows what size record's on there. So I'm not expecting this to start in the right spot, but let's see what it does. That was a reasonable drop, I think so. I think it got that into the silence at the beginning, so maybe we're looking all right. Stop that and start it again, see what happens. Let's go back, return, good, stop, press start again. Yeah, that looks pretty nice now. So I might just hook this up to the amp and see what happens.